Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Chapter 76.
So let's jump right in. Where did it all start to unravel? I mean, the sources point pretty clearly to that devastating betrayal at Jingzhou. While Guan Yu was out campaigning, trouble wasn't just brewing behind his lines, it was boiling over fast.
That's right. We're talking about Mi Fang and Fu Shiren. These were the commanders guarding Nanjun and Gongyan, two absolute vital cities for Guan Yu's whole operation. Supplies, reinforcements, everything.
Yeah, crucial spots. And you really have to try and put yourself in their shoes for a moment, right? Think about the pressure they must have been feeling.
It really wasn't just simple malice, though. I mean, the sources suggest Fu Shiren, maybe sensing the way the wind was blowing, convinced Mi Fang they were in a state of Shiwei Likun.
Which means?
Basically a state of danger and exhaustion. Real desperation. But here's the critical part. They genuinely believed Guan Yu held this deep resentment towards them, maybe for past mistakes, slights, who knows.
Okay.
They were afraid of his retribution if he came back victorious. Maybe even more afraid of him than the enemy, Eastern Wu.
Wow, so that fear was already there.
Exactly. It shows how quickly those internal anxieties, maybe perceived slights if you don't manage them, can just completely erode loyalty. It was fertile ground for what came next.
And that fear gets weaponized, doesn't it? The catalyst seems to be Guan Yu's envoy showing up.
Yes. Demanding a staggering amount of rice by one shi. That's 100,000 sheet of rice from these already strained cities.
I mean, put that in perspective for us. How much is that, really?
It's enormous.
Yeah.
Enough to feed a huge army for months. And the envoy wasn't exactly subtle. He threatens immediate execution if there's any delay.
Talk about turning the screws. Immense pressure on generals who are already, like you said, feeling endangered and exhausted.
And this is where Guan Yu's reputation, his known severity, kind of backfired.
Yeah.
Terribly. The envoy's demands, that threat, it was the last straw. The sources describe this chilling scene. Fu Shiren just makes a decision, a brutal one. Bajian Xinlai Shi Yu Dongshan. He drew his sword and beheaded the envoy. Right there in the hall.
Whoa. Okay. No turning back from that.
Absolutely not. It wasn't just murder. It was an irrevocable act of rebellion. It sealed his own fate, and it basically forced Mi Fang to join him. They surrender Nanjun and Gongyan to Lu Meng of Eastern Wu.
Just like that. Hand it over.
Just like that. The strategic insight here is pretty stark, isn't it? A leader's maybe overbearing demands, a failure to manage the morale of key people. It could lead to total internal collapse. You gift vital strongholds to the enemy without them even having to fight for it.
A truly chilling moment. Okay, so while that disaster is unfolding for Guan Yu, there's a bigger chess game happening up north, right? With Cao Cao.
Exactly. Let's shift focus dramatically up to Cao Cao in Zuchang. He gets this very interesting letter from Eastern Wu.
The one proposing the alliance?
Yes. Proposing a Jiegong Yunchang, a joint attack on Guan Yu. And, crucially, the letter asks him, Lu.
Don't leak it. Keep it secret from Guan Yu.
Right. But this is where Cao Cao's strategist Dong Zhao has this moment of, well, pure genius.
Okay, what does he suggest?
Instead of just saying, yeah, okay, let's attack together, Dong Zhao advises this multi-layered counter-strategy. It's brilliant, really. He tells Cao Cao, send the letter into Fancheng.
Yeah.
Into the city Guan Yu is besieging, where Cao Ren is trapped.
Precisely. It serves two purposes at once. First, it boosts Cao Ren's morale. Like, hey, hang in there, relief is coming, and Wu's about to stab Guan Yu in the back.
Okay, that makes sense. What's the second purpose?
Second, and this is the clever part, it intentionally lets Guan Yu know about Eastern Wu's betrayal. It's designed to create instant panic in Guan Yu's ranks.
Ah, so it forces his hand.
Exactly. It completely flips the script. Dong Zhao knew that Guan Yu, terrified about losing his base, Jingdu, would Su Tui Bingfin, he'd have to retreat quickly.
Making him vulnerable. Extremely
vulnerable. This was Cao Cao's chance to kosh Guanggun to achieve complete success. Wipe him out during the retreat.
So Cao Cao does it?
Immediately. Sends word to his general Shu Huang to press the attack, and moves his own main army down to Nanyang Lingpo to support Cao Ren. He's putting the squeeze on Guan Yu from both sides now.
It's incredible. Using intelligence, psychological warfare, turning an enemy's proposal into a weapon against them.
It really is a masterclass in weaponized information. Dismantling Guan Yu's whole campaign before another major battle is even fought.
Okay, so this perfectly sets the stage for Shu Huang. He's the general tasked with actually confronting Guan Yu now, right?
That's him. And our sources paint this picture of Guan Yu's defenses, led by his adopted son Guan Ping and Liao Hua. They have Qianhou Yeshi, Lianlu, A dozen interconnected camps strung out along the Mianshui River. On paper, it looks like a really formidable defensive line.
But Xu Huang finds a way through.
Finds a way. He dances through it. His strategy is all about deception. He starts with this cunning feint, sends two of his subgenerals, Xu Shang and Li Jian, to attack Guan Ping at a place called Yuncheng.
And how does that go?
They get beaten. Badly. Or rather, they pretend to get beaten badly. The sources say they suffered a great defeat and fled after just a few rounds of combat.
Making Guan Ping think it's an easy win.
Exactly. Make him overconfident, lure him out.
And Guan Ping falls for it.
Hook, line, and sinker, it seems. He pursues them for Air Shiyul over 20 li, which is quite a distance.
Leaving Yuncheng vulnerable.
Precisely. He only realizes he's been lured away when he sees Chengzheng Hakango fire, starting back in the city he just left.
Xu Huang's move.
Xu Huang himself, leading Jingbing Huni, 500 elite soldiers, attacks Yancheng from the rear, sets it ablaze. The deception worked perfectly. Guan Ping's position is immediately compromised.
But Xu Huang isn't finished, is he? There's more psychological stuff.
Oh, yeah. As Guan Ping rushes back, Xu Huang confronts him. But instead of just fighting, he calls out to him, Guan Ping Shi Xu.
Worthy nephew Guan Ping. That sounds almost sarcastic.
It probably was, like a taunt. And then he delivers the hammer blow. Rin Jingzhu Wi Jingwu Duole. Your Jingzhou has already been taken by Eastern Wu.
Right to the heart. While Guan Ping is trying to retake a burning camp.
Exactly. This wasn't just combat. It was psychological warfare, pure and simple, designed to shatter morale so that deep doubt right when things are falling apart.
So Guan Ping's reeling, trying to dismiss it as just a rumor, but the attacks keep coming.
Relentlessly. Xu Huang then attacks the Di in the first camp in that defensive line. Guan Ping and Liaohua rush over to defend it. They find the Wei camp empty. Xu Huang had moved his troops. So Guan Ping and Liaohua try a night raid on what they think is the main Wei camp.
Let me guess, another trap.
Another ambush. Xu Shang and Lu Jian are waiting for them. It's just this relentless psychological grind. They're constantly reacting, constantly being outmaneuvered.
So they lose the first camp too.
They're forced to abandon it. They fall back towards Xizangzai, another key fortified position.
And Xu Huang is already there.
Worse, they arrive only to find it already Hokyu on fire and flying Wei banners. It's fallen.
But wasn't that place supposed to be impregnable?
That's the description, yeah. 10 layers of deer-horn barricades, so strong not even a bird could enter.
Yet Xu Huang took it.
Which shows the state of collapse. Guan Ping and Liaohua are utterly defeated. They have no choice but to retreat all the way back to Guan Yu's main camp. They've lost critical positions, their troops are demoralized. It's a disaster. Xu Huang's combination of feints, flanking moves, and psychological pressure just completely dismantled their defenses.
You can just imagine Guan Yu's state of mind then. His son and Liaohua stumbled back defeated, bringing not just bad news, but also these persistent, terrifying rumors that Jingzhou itself has fallen. Everything is just crashing down.
And this right here is where Guan Yu's own character, maybe his fatal flaw, comes into really sharp focus. His pride, his overconfidence.
How does he react to the news from Guan Ping?
The sources say he shouts. He dismisses the reports of Jingzhou falling as
enemy rumors, just propaganda.
Exactly. Designed to sow discord. He still confidently believes that the Eastern Wu commander, Lu Meng, is critically ill, basically out of commission.
And Lu Meng's replacement, Lu Xun.
Guan Yu dismisses him as just a ruse, an inexperienced youngster, not worth worrying about.
Wow, that's a massive underestimation.
It's critical. It's fatal. He's completely misjudging the situation, blinded by his own past successes and maybe his contempt for younger commanders. It's a timeless lesson, isn't it? Even legends can dismiss rising threats, especially if they seem inexperienced and pay a terrible price.
So tragic. And right then, Xu Huang's forces arrive, ready to push the advantage.
Yes. And Guan Ping, seeing his father is still wounded, his body isn't fully healed from an earlier arrow wound, he pleads with him, "Don't fight, let us handle it."
But Guan Yu insists.
He insists. Driven by pride, maybe a sense of duty, maybe just needing to reassert control in the face of chaos, he insists on engaging Xu Huang himself, this old acquaintance.
And what happens when they meet? It must have been intense.
It's actually quite poignant. Guan Yu tries to appeal to their shared past, their friendship. He says something like,
meaning,
"My friendship with you is deep. It's not like my relationship with others." He's trying to pull the loyalty card, the history card.
How does Xu Huang respond?
Brutal honesty, really. A stark reminder of the reality of this situation.
Today is about state matters. I dare not let private feelings interfere with public booty.
Exactly. It perfectly captures that conflict, doesn't it? Personal loyalty versus duty to the state. In war, sometimes friendship just has to be set aside. There's no room for sentiment when empires are clashing.
So they fight.
They do. An epic duel, apparently. 80-plus rounds, which is incredible, a testament to their skill.
There's always a but in these stories.
There is. The sources note the crucial detail. Despite Guan Yu's his unparalleled martial skill,
his right arm lacked strength.
yes, because of that previous wound, he wasn't fighting at full capacity. A legendary warrior, but diminished, vulnerable.
And Guan Ting sees this.
He sees his father struggling, the injury becoming a clear liability. He makes a desperate call.
Urgently sound the gong for retreat.
Yes. And just as that happens, Cao Ren, inside Fancheng, hears that Cao's main army is near. He leads a breakout, smashing out of the siege and joining forces with Xu Huang.
Oh man, so Guan Yu's forces are hit from the front by Xu Huang, from the side by Cao Ren, and they're trying to retreat.
It's a total rout, complete chaos. They're forced into this hasty retreat across the Xiangjiang River. Their whole position just crumbles. The combination of the injured legend, the pragmatic enemy, the coordinated breakout, it just shatters Guan Yu's army.
So as Guan Yu is retreating, scrambling, the final devastating truth finally hits him.
Yeah, messengers arrive, confirming it beyond doubt. Ding Zi has been taken by Lu Meng. It's not a rumor anymore.
And worse.
And worse, personally, his family, his household, they're trapped in the fallen city, now under enemy control.
That must have broken him.
Utterly. He reroutes his forces towards Gonggan, the other city that fell, maybe hoping for refuge, maybe just reacting, but the toll is immense. The sources describe him being so consumed by choking rage and despair that his old wound bursts open again.
He collapses.
He faints, falls right there on the ground. It just vividly shows the depth of his despair. A man utterly broken by betrayal, defeat, and now the loss of his family.
Does he say anything when he comes?
Yes. He explicitly regrets not listening to his advisor, Sima Wangfu, who had warned him earlier. He acknowledges his arrogance, and then that cry,
"I've fallen for the traitor's scheme. How can I possibly face my elder brother Liu Bei now?"
yeah, the personal shame, the weight of his failure. It's palpable.
It really is. And, it brings us back to something. How did Lu Meng pull off that surprise attack on Jingzhou so perfectly? We know Mi Fang and Fu Shiren surrendered, but how did Wu's forces get there undetected?
Ah, yes. That's where Eastern Wu's meticulous planning really shines. It wasn't just brute force, it was subterfuge. Our sources detail Lu Meng's incredibly cunning method.
His sailors all wore white clothes, disguised as merchants crossing the river.
Exactly. They used small, unassuming boats, zhugo zhulu is the term used, implying perhaps rafts or small craft to secretly land troops along the riverbanks.
And the watchtowers, didn't they see anything?
That was the key. They first captured the soldiers guarding the riverside watchtowers. Silently. Quickly.
So no warning fires could be lit?
No warning fires. No alarms. By the time anyone in Jingzhou realized what was happening, Wu's soldiers were already inside the perimeter. It highlights the absolute power of good intelligence, surprise, and deception over just relying on strong walls.
Incredible planning. Okay, so Guan Yu is now trapped, Eastern Wu in front, holding Jingzhou and Gongyan. Cao's forces, led by the victorious Xu Wang, behind him. What does he do? Is there any move left?
It looks utterly hopeless. He consults his chief logistics officer, the grain governor Zhao Lei. A moment of pure desperation, really, turning to the guy responsible for supplies when the army is disintegrating.
What does Zhao Lei suggest?
A two-pronged approach. A desperate, maybe logical last resort.
Send messengers to Chengdu to Liu Bei, begging for help. Urgently.
Right, and simultaneously, try to retake Jingzhou via the land route, bypassing the river defenses Wu now holds.
A long shot, but maybe the only shot.
Pretty much. Guan Yu agrees. He dispatches two trusted officials, Ma Liang and Yi Ji, to make that desperate ride to Chengdu. Then he leads his own vanguard, trying to push towards Jingzhou, with Liao Hua and his son Guan Ping covering the chaotic rear. It's a flickering hope, nothing more.
And while Guan Yu is making this last desperate gamble, what's happening on Cao's side? He must be pleased.
Immensely pleased. He's relieved Fancheng. He personally inspects Guan Yu's captured camps, the ones Zhu Huang dismantled. And he lavishes praise on Xu Huang, commends his Dignan Shijianyu.
His courage and insight.
Yeah, especially for daring to penetrate Guan Yu's defenses that Wei Qianlu Jikno Shucheng, the multi-layered perimeter everyone thought was impenetrable. Cao Cao recognizes the brilliance of Xu Huang's tactics.
Does he reward him?
Oh, absolutely. He goes even further. Compares Xu Huang's disciplined troops to those of Zhu Yafu, a legendary Han Dynasty general famous for incredibly strict military order. That's high praise. And he promotes Xu Huang to Pingyan Zhengjun general, who pacifies the south, and assigns him to guard the crucial city of Xiangyang. It's a clear signal. Cao Cao rewards strategic genius and success, ensuring loyalty and competence on his side, while Guan Yu's is falling apart.
A stark contrast. So Guan Yu is marching towards Jingzhou, messengers are racing to Chengdu. Is there anything else they try?
One last thing. Zhao Lei, the grain governor, reminds Guan Yu of the past. Remember the alliance. Eastern Wu and Shu used to be allies against Cao Cao.
Right, the whole reason this betrayal is so shocking.
So Zhao Lei suggests maybe Guan Yu could catch Ren Yushu.
Rebuking Lu Meng, calling him out for breaking the alliance.
Exactly. Maybe hoping to appeal to some sense of honor, gain some leverage, maybe just sow confusion or buy time. It's unclear what they truly expected.
And Guan Yu agrees, even after everything.
Against all odds, he agrees. He dictates the letter. It's a fascinating little detail, isn't it? Even in the face of utter ruin, they're still clinging to the formalities, the principles of diplomacy and past alliances, trying to appeal to an honor code that, frankly, Lu Meng and Sun Quan had already discarded for strategic advantage.
It speaks volumes about Guan Yu's own worldview, maybe, still believing in those old codes even as they're failing him.
Perhaps, or maybe just sheer desperation, trying anything.
Lu Meng, the Wu general, he did something, well, much sneakier, more insidious, but incredibly effective. What exactly was his plan in Jingzhou?
Well, what's so fascinating and kind of revolutionary about Lu Meng's approach is how he just completely sidestepped expectations.
Yeah.
I mean, instead of the usual wartime brutality, he actually ordered his soldiers not to bother the families of Guan Yu's troops. Strictly forbidden. And not just that, he made sure these families got monthly grain rations, provided doctors if they were sick. Yeah. This wasn't just being humane, it was a calculated strategic move. And the immediate effect, the source says, was that the families, the soldiers' families, felt this real sense of gratitude. They settled down, completely undisturbed. It just shows how undermining an enemy's will by securing their home front. Well, it can be way more effective than just fighting them head on. It's almost like an early form of psyops.
That is brilliant. Hitting them where they live, but with kindness. So how did he weaponize that connection? Because he didn't just stop there, did he?
No. Then he sends an envoy to Guan Yu himself, and the message is basically, look, we used to be friends, that's personal, but right now, I'm just following orders, my hands are tied.
Okay.
But here's the stroke of genius, the real psychological warfare bit. He allowed Guan Yu's soldiers to send and receive messages from home.
Oh, that's deadly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being a soldier hearing rumors, then getting a letter confirming, yes, your family is safe, they have food, the enemy is providing for them?
The relief must have been immense, but then the conflict. How do you keep fighting?
Precisely. It creates this impossible dilemma. Your whole reason for fighting might be your family, and now the enemy is taking care of them. The news just ripped through Guan Yu's army. The source says the generals were overjoyed, but crucially, they lost the will to fight. All of it. Gone.
And the direct result?
Catastrophic for Guan Yu.
Yeah.
Soldiers started deserting, just walking away, heading back to Jingzhou. It wasn't just losing a battle. His entire army was dissolving from the inside out. Morale completely shattered by this calculated kindness.
So Lu Meng's quiet subversion basically just blew the doors open. How did Guan Yu, known for his, let's say, fiery temper, react when he figured out this insidious scheme?
Oh, he was furious, understandably.
Yeah.
The source gives us this amazing quote, just boiling with rage. This is a treacherous villain scheme. If I can't kill this scoundrel alive, I'll kill him in death to avenge my hatred.
Pure fury.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that rage, however intense, it couldn't stop the desertions. He had to retreat desperately. And he didn't even realize Lu Meng had already laid out a series of traps along his withdrawal route. He first runs into Jiang Qin, beats him quickly, like less than 3 bouts, pursues him for maybe 6 or 7 miles.
Right into the trap.
Exactly. Suddenly, boom, Han Dang's forces rush out from a valley on the left. Then boom, Zhu Tai's army emerges from the right. And Jiang Qin, the guy Guan Yu thought he'd routed, he wheels around and rejoins the fight. A perfect 3-way pincer. Guan Yu was caught.
And the psychological pressure kept mounting, didn't it? It wasn't just the ambush.
No, it followed him onto the battlefield. As he's trying to pull back from this pincer, he looks up and sees crowds on South Mountain Ridge. They're waving a white flag, and it says, Jingzhou locals.
Oh, no.
And they're not just watching, they're shouting down at his troops, "Locals, surrender quickly, come home."
A direct appeal to his soldiers' roots. That's devastating.
Utterly devastating. And then 2 more Wu armies, led by Ding Feng and Xu Shang, show up and close the circle. Complete encirclement. The source describes his men just melting away, thinning out. The soldiers from Jingzhou and his army start hearing these calls, maybe recognizing voices calling out for brothers, sons, fathers.
Just imagining that scene.
Yeah. And the morale just completely collapses. The text says the army's heart entirely changed. They respond to the calls. They just leave. And the result, Guan Yu is left with maybe 300 men. His legendary army, gone. Dissolved.
It's almost impossible to fathom such a revered general watching his forces just evaporate. But there was a brief moment, right? His son, Guan Ping, and Liao Hua managed to break through.
Yes, a small miracle in the chaos. They fought their way through and rescued him. And Guan Ping, thinking practically, suggested falling back to Mei Chang. It was small, he said, but defensible. Sufficient to station troops.
So they retreat there. What was the situation like in Meicheng?
Dire. They had maybe 500 or 600 men left in total. Most were wounded. And critically, the source notes, there was no food in the city. They fortified it, but it was a desperate last stand shaping up.
So Guan Yu's cornered in Meicheng. Starving, surrounded. Their only real hope is reinforcements, right?
Absolutely. Zhao Lei suggests asking Lu Feng and Meng Da for help. They're stationed relatively nearby in Shangyang. And Liao Hua, showing incredible loyalty, volunteers for the dangerous mission. Break out, get to Shangyang, plead for help. Guan Ping helps him fight his way past Ding Feng's forces.
Okay, so Liao Hua makes it to Shangyang. What happens when he delivers this desperate message?
This is where things get really ugly. You see the politics and the personal grudges just boil over. Liao Hua explains the situation. Guan Yu is trapped, severely besieged, and the main Shu reinforcements are too far away. They need help now.
Makes sense. A direct appeal.
But Meng Da immediately pushes back, coldly. Logically maybe, but coldly. He points out Wu's strength, how tiny and vulnerable Meicheng is, calls it a wikyu, like a pellet-sized place. Plus, he reminds Lu Feng that Cao has this massive army, maybe 400,000 or 500,000 soldiers, camped nearby. He basically asks, how can our little mountain garrison possibly fight off 2 major powers like that?
It sounds pragmatic on the surface, but you said there was more to it.
Oh yeah. Then Meng Da plays his trump card, the personal one. He reminds Lu Feng, Liu Bei's adopted son, that Guan Yu had actually disapproved of his adoption. Strongly.
Ouch.
Yeah. And apparently, Guan Yu had even suggested Liu Bei send Lu Feng away to Shangyang specifically to prevent future trouble regarding who would succeed Liu Bei.
So this wasn't just military calculation, this was payback.
It certainly looks that way. A deep-seated resentment. And Lu Feng listens. Swayed by Meng Da and likely his own feelings about Guan Yu, they refuse Liao Hua. Their excuse, oh, this city is newly ours, the people aren't settled, we can't risk sending troops out. A pretty thin excuse, really.
How did Liao Hua take it?
He was heartbroken. The text says he knocked his head on the ground, crying out, if this is how it is, then Guan Yu is doomed. Devastated. He then decides his only hope is to go straight to Chengdu, to Liu Bei himself. But time is running out.
A devastating betrayal from within his own extended camp. So, back in Meicheng, no help is coming. The situation is beyond grim.
Exactly. Starving, dwindling numbers, and then another figure arrives. Zhuge Jin.
Zibi Liang's brother. But he's serving Sun Quan, right?
Correct. He comes as Sun Quan's envoy with an offer for Guan Yu. He tries to persuade him to surrender. He uses that phrase. Basically, a hero knows how to read the times, adapt to the situation. He even promises Guan Yu could have Jingzhou back. His family would be safe. It sounds like a generous offer, especially given the circumstances.
A lifeline almost. But this is Guan Yu we're talking about.
And this is where his legend is truly forged in fire. His response is just pure, unbending loyalty. He declares, I'm just a warrior from Xiliang. My lord treats me like his own brother. How could I possibly betray righteousness and defect to an enemy?
Wow.
And then he gives that incredible analogy. Jade can be shattered, but its whiteness cannot be changed. Bamboo can be burned, but its joints cannot be destroyed.
Death before dishonor. Literally.
Absolutely. He's choosing death over surrender. It's a profound statement of his core values. Guan Ping, his son, actually tries to kill Zhuge Jin right then and there in anger.
Really?
Yeah, but Guan Yu stops him. He says, essentially, no, he's Zhu Jimang's brother. We can't harm him. Even in this extremity, that connection matters.
Incredible restraint and principle, even at the end. So Zhuge goes back empty-handed. How does Sun Quan react, and what's Lu Meng thinking now?
Sun Quan, hearing about Guan Yu's refusal, actually respects it. He says, truly a loyal subject. He recognizes the integrity, even in his enemy. Meanwhile, Lu Meng's strategist, Lu Huvan, performs a divination. It's the Dishui hexagram.
What does that signify?
In military terms, it often suggests anticipating an enemy's retreat or escape attempt. And there was this specific omen, Xuan Wu Lin Yang, which pointed directly to the enemy trying to flee.
So the divination matched Lu Meng's strategic assessment?
Perfectly. Lu Meng is completely confident now. He says, the divination lines up exactly with my plan. Even if Guan Yu had wings to soar to the heavens, he couldn't escape my net.
He knows he's got him trapped.
He does. And the source uses that old proverb. A dragon stranded in a ditch gets bullied by shrimp. A phoenix locked in a cage gets mocked by birds. The mighty Guan Yu, undone not by sheer force, but by this intricate web of psychology, politics, and betrayal. His fate is sealed.